Heavensgate, Tea and Doe. Did you have any interest in ufology, aliens?
The short answer is no. But I had one experience that was really interesting. I was in my friend's apartment in Newport, Oregon, on the West Coast. And I'd been living in that area for a number of years, and with my partner, and we were in their apartment, and I was sitting on the couch, and we were probably getting stoned, we always did. And I remember, hearing on the radio was playing what was depicting a crashed UFO with bodies. And I remember hearing that, and I kind of jumped up in my seat, and the three other people that were in the apartment were in the kitchen, kind of preparing a dinner. And I jumped up in my seat and I said, "Do you all hear that? There was a crash with bodies." And they looked at me like, like, so what? Like it didn't mean anything to them at all. So I thought, okay, well, that's weird. And I just sat down again and continued to listen to it. And that happened, probably weeks or months, a few months before I saw that poster of, a UFO with the big UFOs on it.
Was that the Roswell incident?
Well, yeah, I realized after the fact that what they were doing was depicting the Roswell incident. Yeah, but I had, we had the book in the group.
Yeah.
The first one that came out, I think, by Moore.
Okay.
Forgot his name totally. They said that he was a CIA plant, but I don't know if he was or not. He might have been. But we had that book in the classroom, but so I read it, but I wasn't required to read it. And, T and Doe weren't actually in favor of using UFO on the posters for advertising the meetings. That was done by students, and they didn't check with T and Doe as to whether, the content of the posters. They would have not used that because of how it had been already made into a commercialism. Then I had a UFO sighting after I joined. I didn't know what to make of it at the time. I was on the beach. We got to Corpus Christi. I was putting my sleeping bag on the beach. I just laid it down, and I looked up in the sky over the Gulf of Mexico, and there was this big bright light that was traveling at incredible speeds, and it didn't seem that far away, and it was traveling from north to south, and it did a right angle turn right in front of me to where it was then headed into the Gulf of Mexico, and then it did another right angle turn so that it was headed continuing south. And then it went out of sight. I could watch it, and this happened like in 3 seconds or so, like 2 or 3 seconds. It was traveling so fast. And I didn't see any like signs of being a meteor, and but how could a meteor do a right angle turn unless it was intelligently driven somehow? 1976, this was in January. No drones in those days. I was actually in another friend's house. A band member, because we had a little band then too, and we came out of that kind of an all-nighter party, kind of band practice kind of thing, and there was a poster on the telephone pole that was right outside the little town store, little store in that area on the coast, overlooking the ocean, and it said UFOs, and the rest of the information on that UFO poster. And I was with Sarah, actually the individual that is with Mark, and they're the webmasters of the Heavensgate website.
Okay.
She was my partner. We came out from New York. We moved out, actually moved to Canada. I got deported, and then we ended up in Newport, Oregon, and Walport, Oregon, actually, and so the meeting was to be held at the Bayshore Inn in Walport, Oregon. And so I remember seeing that poster and thinking, wow, I wonder what these people are going to look like, because it talked about them being from like outer space.
Yeah.
And so I remember having that thought. I think I said that out loud to Sarah. That's not her real name. And then I remember thinking to myself that it said in the meeting that the meeting was not going to be about UFO phenomena, and that there have already been a number of individuals who have decided to give their all to this effort. And that just like hit me as, wow, give their all to this effort. It's like I was already like primed for that kind of thinking.
What, in your understanding, is a soul?
Well, the best depiction of a soul you're going to get is by looking at the Heavensgate book and reading like what Jan Odie wrote, or Liv Odie wrote, or maybe somebody else in the classroom. I would search the Heavensgate book for that word and read everything about it. But the overview of it is that it's a plasma physical container, though at first called it a pillowcase, and he also called it a pocket. And that is actually designed to hold next level information, which is considered to be true information as opposed to false information. And that's why it's called Holy Spirit or Holy Mind. Spirit and mind is the same word, it's synonymous.
Okay.
And so it has to do with programming and programs. But it's programming that, for instance, like, where you say, when you're writing a computer program, you might say, I'm going to assign the letter I to equal the number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So in next level kind of format, that might be that Earth created equals the next level above human.
Right.
And so if you have that program in that soul that's deposited into a human vehicle, that human vehicle has a certain sense that we were created somehow.
Right. Yeah.
And that might be a very, very tiny sense of it that's even in our genetic structure. You know what I mean? And gets either suppressed or expanded or distorted or whatever it is, but that we can always pull on. Anyway, so that's why, and so it's like he also compared it to being a chip, like a computer chip. And so those are deposited, was the word they used, deposited into selected human vehicles. And that could be thousands, and maybe it could be millions of human vehicles. Whenever the next level is coming to take over human vehicles to do a task like Jesus did and Elijah did and Moses did and maybe the Buddha did and maybe Krishna did and maybe and that Enoch did and Adam did to start off the experiment for this current civilization. Then the next level plants souls, just like Jesus compared them to seeds.
Yeah.
Because they can grow and become something, but they can also die and become nothing.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you, what is the most beautiful thing that you were led to understand by T and O?
Wow, I don't know if I've ever got that question before. I mean, it's so much, that is beautiful to me about everything that T and O are teaching and the opportunity.